All right, we're back with another positional deep dive for the 2026 U.S. Men's Team World Cup roster. Today I'm going to be doing the closer look on the attacking midfielders and wingers. Uh, if you haven't watched the full 26-man roster, I'll link it at the end of the video. And here we go. First, I'm going to be starting with obviously the biggest lock on the entire roster. We of course have a ton of locks, McKennie, Anthony Robinson. You could even call Serginho Dest a lock. Matt Freese probably a lock, but the biggest lock of them all, Christian Pulisic. I don't really have much to say. The best player on the team, great at drifting inside. Of course, big game performer. Sent us to the knockout round last World Cup. Great on pens, exceptional on pens. Even takes him for AC Milan. He can really play any attacking position, winger, left mid, right mid, striker. He can even play that 10 role in through the middle. Super consistent form for club and country. He's probably Milan's best attacker currently. That's what more can you say about Christian Pulisic? He's the guy. He's our guy. The next guy I got. Some people might call him a wingback. Some people call him a winger. Some people call him a defender. Whatever you want to call him, he's making the roster, and that's Timmy Weah. And he's over on loan with Marseille, and he's playing a lot of wingback, but which he might do for us. But I think his best position's the winger. He always cuts in, and anytime he shoots, he's always testing the keeper. I think he's been lights out for us whenever he's played winger for us. Insane speed, super direct. Obviously, his pace has the defense worried. Like the second he steps on the field, he's so explosive in that sense. But he's just such a scorer. He scored that goal for us against Wales last World Cup, our first goal since the 2014 World Cup, and yeah, I think he's better at winger, so that's why I put him in this category. But I think he not only is he on the roster, I think he starts in that right mid position, and I got Pulisic starting on the left. Brendan Aronson, he's really coming into form over at Leeds United. He's going to be making the roster. Insane at pressing, super high work rate, chaos wherever he is, whether he's starting or he's off the bench. He can play either of those wingers or that. He can play left mid, right mid, center mid, wherever you need him. He'll play and he'll be great. Just like I touched on his work rate, just insane cardio. He'll run guys down for 90 minutes straight, forcing bad turnovers, creating offense from that. But he's also very creative when he does have the ball at his feet, and he's able to make opportunities that we might not have. Great speed, of course. The next guy, it'll be interesting to see because a name I'm going to touch on later. I don't want to say it's a coin flip, but I think my guy's the better option. But I think there's another guy who could easily get in. It's kind of the fight for the number 7 jersey. You'll see why I'm saying that. But that's going to be Gio Reyna. He's pretty much going to be a super sub. I don't see him starting, but I see anytime Poch might need an offensive spark, and he's going to sub this guy. He's going to sub in Gio Reyna, and Gio Reyna can easily change the game. Just floats around the field with the ball at his feet. He can dribble through anyone. When he's fit, the best player on the field, but of course he's had those injury concerns in the past. Insane vision when passing, crazy technique. I see him playing in that center mid position, that just right behind the strikers and in between the two left and right mids or wingers, whatever you want to call them in my system, the 5-1-3-1. But yeah, if he's fit, I see him going. He's just so dynamic. Next is a guy who's been absolutely scoring up a storm, and he's over with Bayer Leverkusen, and that's Malik Tillman. He did have that. one of my favorite moments of him, I should say, rather than he had that penalty against Costa Rica that got saved. It wasn't really my favorite moment of him. It was more of my favorite moment from the team. Was when he had that penalty. Well, he didn't. It wasn't saved. He hit it off the outside of the post against Costa Rica in the Gold Cup, and the Costa Rica players came up and started getting chippy with him. And I think it was Richards, Arston. They just came flying in, standing up for their boy. So that was huge. But if Tillman's in form, he's lights out. He's kind of like a target man. You play the ball to him, and then he creates from up top. But he's great in that distribution role. I guess it's more like a hold up player. But yeah, that would be that center mid right behind the striker. But he can also go up and poach when needed. I don't want to say it's a completely form dependent call up, but he has been hot. But I do think that his hot form of late will get him a call up to the March camp for sure. And if he plays well, I think that spot's his. So that's that. And then kind of two guys I'll touch briefly on them. If you want to watch more on these two guys, go watch my box to box midfielder guys. And that's Tanner Tessman and Johnny Cardoso. I think they're just on the outside, but I don't really see Tessman's defensive work rate necessarily being on par with some of the other guys I included. But I think if he goes down with injury, you never know what could happen. Tessman's an elite passer. He is more of a midfielder than a pure attacker, which is why he's on both lists. But I think he competes with Gio Reyna and Malik Tillman, and I think both Reyna and Tillman offer something different that would be beneficial for us rather than what we get out of Tessman. But he definitely could get a call up. Poch is taking a liking to him, so there's that too. And then Cardoso, he had that brutal mistake. I think it was against Turkey. But other than that, he was pretty good for us. Very physical midfielder. I don't know. I think Tessman would get in above him, but either of them, I think Poch has called them in enough to be comfortable bringing them up if we are in need of a injury replacement for any of those guys. Alex Zendejas, my favorite goal of all time was that volley he hit in one of the friendlies. It was in Columbus. Arfston swung the ball in and he just picked it cleanly, bottom left corner. He's playing well down in Mexico. Yeah, super pacey, good dribbling, good at playing the final ball. He definitely could get a call up too. I don't really have anything bad to say about any of these guys. They could all get call ups, but I don't know. It's not. I see the other guys getting call ups before these guys do. And you'll see why I was talking about Gio Reyna the way I was, and that's because I think it's one of two guys fighting for the number 7 shirt, like I said, and that's Diego Luna. Both of them kind of offer the same thing, that off-the-bench spark that you'll need. I don't see Gio Reyna or Diego Luna starting. A lot of people do have Diego Luna starting, but I don't know. I think Gio Reyna or Diego Luna will get brought, not both, because they kind of offer the same thing. Poch, I might be changing my decision as we speak here, but Poch has loved Luna, ever since he got that bloody nose and he was, still fighting for us. He's kind of been his main attacking man, per se, and I don't know. Anytime he's on the field, he's either in the right spot at the right time or he's playing the right pass at the right time. He just that creative spark off the bench that you need to fire the boys up. I don't know. I could definitely see him getting brought. Another guy is Taylor Booth. He's a great winger, attacking midfielder, good goal threat. He's kind of dealt with some injuries as of late, so he hasn't really found the form. I don't think he's been called in under Poch. If he has, he hasn't done anything noticeable for me. yeah, I don't see him getting brought, but yeah, that's the situation with him. And then a couple of guys who are probably on the outside of this group, but definitely look for them for next World Cup. One is Cowell, the insanely pacey winger. He's playing down in Mexico. He's a good finisher, great. His pace just opens up the field so much, kind of like that Weah pace. But yeah, he's only got a couple senior caps, so I don't see him getting brought up. But definitely look for him for next cycle and next World Cup. Kevin Paredes, he was when he was like 18, he was getting call ups for us, and he was lighting it up. But I think he's also a kind of guy, great pace, good technical ability. I don't know. I see him kind of competing with Weah in that spot, and I definitely don't see Weah staying home. But definitely same thing. Look for him for next World Cup. Guy who just made the move to uh, over in Italy is Ben Cremaschi. Uh, Great attacking player. Used to play for Inter Miami. Fun watching him play with Messi. He's kind of like a right spot, right time kind of player. He's very good, but he'll probably be next World Cup. I don't see him making it for this World Cup. Indiana Vasilev, good young winger. I don't see him making it. Kind of on the outside. Another guy I could definitely see getting brought is a guy Poch has called a bunch under him, and that's Christian Roldan. I don't think he necessarily has the quality we need in both boxes, but I think in between he's great. I think he's great in build up. I think he's good at stopping attacks before they happen. But I always think back to that moment in one of the friendlies where it was him and Richards was 2 times the distance away from the attacker as Roldan was, and Roldan just stood there and he was like waiting for Richards to come. It's like, dude, like where's the ambition? I think that was against Turkey, but not the defensive killer we need for a midfielder when we need that sort of aspect. And then in the final third, in the attacking on the attacking side, he's not really a killer. Like, McKennie, he'll put his body on the line to make it happen and to score a goal, make an assist, whatever. I don't know if you really see that from Roldan, but he's great in the build-up play. I just don't know if that's necessarily what we're looking for. But he could definitely get a call-up if somebody gets injured, so that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Jack McGlynn, Poch has liked him a ton in recent camps, and I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see because we already kind of have that attacking, flair that we already have with either Reyna or Luna, whoever gets brought. But McGlynn's probably on the outside looking in, but he could definitely get called up. Poch has definitely liked him, so that'll be interesting to see where he goes with that. Josh Atencio, I don't see him getting brought, but good in the MLS. He's kind of a box-to-box attacking mid, like hybrid kind of guy. Not the greatest defensively, and he's more of like a build-up kind of guy. He's not really like the finisher that we necessarily need, kind of like McKennie would be. But he's still young. He's still got a lot of time. Fidel Barajas, good speed, youth winger, very raw. Next World Cup kind of guy. Another guy is Xavier Gozo. He really excited me and kind of my interest was piqued on him when I saw he was getting his move linked to Aston Villa and Atletico Madrid, I think. And he's a good finisher. I'm pretty sure he plays on the wing most of the time. I haven't watched much of his highlights or anything, or any of his matches or any of that stuff. But he's a young kid. I can almost guarantee he's not getting called up this World Cup. But it'll be fun to see if he does end up making a move to Europe and he gets good minutes and he develops for next World Cup if he's in the team. As always, be sure to go watch the previous videos. I'll link them below. I'll link the full 26 man at the end of the video, along with the playlist for the rest of the in-depth videos. And that's my pool. I got Pulisic on the left, Weah on the right. Reyna, Tillman, Aronson are coming off the bench for me. And yeah, that's my squad. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Subscribe, like if you agree. And thanks for watching.